Hi guys, it's Ilene here, and today I am going to show you how to construct a top hat. And here's my first attempt here. I made a pattern because you have to either buy a pattern online or print it up, and I'm not sure because I just haven't been able to get a pattern. So I'm looking around online anyways, and you have to purchase them. So far I've looked, but I kind of give up after 5 tries of looking because I'm not going to keep all day looking. So I just made up my own pattern, and I think this is going to work for our challenge. So this is it. This is my first one. It's a teeny crooked, but it doesn't matter because it's kind of like, you know, a artsy imagination type of fun thing. So here is my instructions. So I'm hoping that this will work for the instructions. So the round part here of the top hat measures right from one end to the circle to the next circle, and 5.5 inches about. I say about because by the time you make your little mark, it might be a little hair bigger and whatever, but it's about that. So it's 5.5 inches. Circle. So I just found a 5.5 inch circle of like a basket and did that. I found my perfect measurement that I did. I had a few other ones. Is 3 inches, this circle here on the inside. I found that I had to measure 1/16 inch in about to make the nice trim around, or whatever this part of the hat is called. And this part of the hat right here that goes up here, the height is 5 inches tall. Now the length of the roll is 11 inches, and that is a full regular sheet of cardstock. So I would cut the cardstock, measure it 5.5 inches this way, and my ruler has decided to play hide and seek. Alright, found it. So it'd be 5.5 inches, or 5 inches in. Move my coffee over here. Measure from here. And that's how tall your hat is. So this, you guys can do your own measurements, but I'm just giving you, a quick pattern of what I have done. So, to make it easy, because then you're not looking for a pattern. I just found that really a pain, to be honest with you. So 5 inches, and then I just cut off my scrap, which is right here. Now on one end I would measure about an inch, and it gives you an estimate because it's just about, because one end of my hat went in an inch more. If you can see, this is at an angle, this line here. I don't know if you can notice that on the thing. And then the other end of my was glued just on the edge. So then it had a little bit of a more open, slightly out. The top hat comes slightly out. You can do more drastic if you had bigger paper, I suppose, but this is what I could do with the 11 inches of paper. So then we just, oops, I'm having it on the wrong way, not 1 inch that way. So about an inch this way. It actually could be a little bit more, but I'm just giving you an estimate on how much. So this end here would go to about your inch. You can make it a little bit more if you want it more dramatic. And then this end here would go to your very edge of your paper, so it overlap like that. Then you have your bottom smaller hole. You can make it a little smaller because your circle will be a tad more than, and then the top. Then you don't worry about, like, it's going to be a little uneven, but you kind of fix that up after you glue it. And that gives you the cone, more of a cone shape for your top hat. Let's just do that here. So I'm using my tacky glue. And it's just like that. You can use clothespins or whatever to pin it together. I've also used, on my hat, I also on the inside used washi tape to hold it down, to tack it down. So then you can kind of work on something else and not be tacking or keep continuously rubbing on that and trying to pin it down, keep it down. But also when if it does unpop, like pop up a bit. The outside will pop up a bit, but you just gotta keep rubbing it. That's why you put it down and you just rub it. And then it should stay. You can add a little bit more glue. The reason why mine is popping up is because I don't have enough glue right to the end. Here. And there you go. So your mark here should go, your one that you cinch in should go to the bottom of your hat. Now this part of your circle, I have this cut out. This is because it's my tracer. When you trace over this part and you have your outer circle and your inner circle, you're not going to cut out your inner circle. That was just for my tracer that I have it cut out. Your inner circle, you're going to make tons of pie shapes pieces. So you're going to make them all across, and then you're going to use your cutting board to cut them as little triangle pieces, and you're going to continue to build that up, these pie pieces. Then when you do cut it with an X-Acto knife, and it'll be more pieces than this. Like this example right here, do I have it? Somewhat like that. So then you can paste, you put your tacky glue on these triangles and they go inside your cylinder. And they paste on the inside of your cylinder. So, but like I said, for the tracer reasons, if you want to make a tracer and then have it all the time because you may be making more, for this challenge I have something with this hat every day. You can either use the same hat and add on or make several hats. I'm planning on making several hats. Just so then I can play with the look and stuff. So then you would take your X-Acto knife and then you would cut, with your ruler is the best if you have a metal ruler too, along there on each little pie strip, getting this as a result. And then again, you put the glue on the outside of these triangles, set that in, you paste them in, and then you just keep rubbing it. You just keep rubbing the glue, be patient, pushing it up and pushing it. Doesn't matter if this top hat end gets pulled up because that's how I did mine. You can see probably the triangle pieces. And I just kept pushing it up, pushing it up. This can get shaped after. Then you cut your circle for the top, What measurement did I use for that? Okay, I noticed I had to readjust my hat because I was talking so much that I was not really paying attention. So I had to tear it up a bit to unstick it. Because you want this circle, you look down on your circle and you want it to be about the same size as circle. It's a little more than 1.5 inches, but depending on your size. This one actually is almost a 2-inch overlap on the bottom. So, but depending on the size, yeah, so it's about just, I'd say 1.5 inches actually. And then it's going to be off here. And really crooked looking, but you can cut that down after. And like I said, I did kind of make a bit of a mess on this now because I had to tear it, but it's going to be good. So anyways, I cinched it in. I apologize for that. It should be about 1.5 inches to 2 inches. If you want that more of a cone look. And of course, I keep putting that. The top's got to go kind of right to the meeting the ends there. So yeah, I did that. I was talking so much and then I didn't realize that I totally had that off. But that's okay. So then you kind of have your top hat like that. You'll want to flatten out your edges. Then I kind of just go around and cut it straight. So it's more even. Just like that. Now it could be like, it may be on the slant, and then you just got to kind of figure that one out. So then it goes more even. But if it's not perfect, that's okay. So it's more straight. Of course, you think I'm going to get it right? I might not. Just because I'm videoing. Alright. It gives you lots of leeway because it's 5 inches long, so it gives you lots of leeway to mess it up, or to fix it up if you mess up. So that's pretty good. Now I'm going to cut these, just like I said, with my X-Acto knife. Or whatever this knife is called. This knife here. Crafting knife. So I'm going to cut this up. And keep them on because I need the flaps to glue. To the wall of the hat, the top hat. So there we go. Now we have all these cut, bend them forward. They're going to go on the inside of the cone part of your top hat. Sorry. To make my joints nice and strong after I've joined everything together with tacky glue, I did use Mod Podge on this one to make it all nice and hard, inside and outside on this, just to seal everything up. So that worked really well for me. So you have your hat. Look at how it goes over good. You put your glue on here, and my glue is getting low, so I'm going to have to grab my blue bottle. So very prepared. I refill my little bottle all the time. So, and the tacky glue really works good. You can use hot glue and that kind of stuff too, I imagine, but I would think that, you know, you might have more of a lumpy result. So now you can see when I put it in, it's like this. I just start pushing my top in and around, just like that. If it's crooked, it's okay, because this is supposed to be a whimsical project, like Mad Hatter or, you know, steampunk, that kind of thing, you know? So, and just be patient with it, keep going around and around. The tacky glue will tack really well. I like to make sure my edges are snug. Just like that. So that's how it's working. It's looking good. And if you just keep going over it, tacky glue, and keep pushing, it's gonna set. And there we go. You can see the I have the tape still in it. You can see the edges glued down, and you can seal them perfectly later on with some Mod Podge. Just paint it around in there. Okay, so that's that part of the hat. Next. So the next part of the hat is the top. So the top is going to measure about 3.5 inches, give or take. So I'm going to do a little, actually a little over 3.5 inches. So we'll see if this circle, I might cut it too small. On my mark. Actually, so this circle is actually a little tad smaller than 3.5 inches, but it should be about 3.5 because it's good to have it a little bit bigger. For the paper. There, that one's 3.5. This one I think I cut below the marker line. And that one, you just tack your glue around. I'm actually going to use the circle and cut it out one more time because I don't want marker on my so this is a 3 3.5 inch circle. This one I cut, I guess, a little smaller because I cut past the marker, or on the marker, making it a tad smaller. See, when you're drawing your circle and then you're cutting it, sometimes you cut your circle a tad smaller if you're cutting it right on the line or whatever, and I was cutting it kind of more on the inside of the line. Anyway, there's my 3.5 inch circle. Perfect. See? I did cut it wrong, but I knew it was 3.5 inches. So what I did was, this one's going to have to use, I put tacky glue all around, and in fact I'm going to move my self-adhesive board. My outer edge of my circle. And I'm sure you can like make it longer and have flaps or whatever, but this is the way I did it, and I'm happy with the results. So that is my circle. I put my top hat over top because it's, at this point you gotta look inside and shape your top hat and that kind of thing. And remember that it could be a little bit uneven because you made it that cone shape. So, but that's okay because this is, like I said, whimsical hat. And then I just push pressure on the edges and anything that's sticking out. And I just push in just slightly to that tacky glue and rub it all the way around. Be patient. There is going to be a little bit of a lip, but you gave room for movement because you made it a little bit bigger. So you could flip it down, use a tool to push your edges out that you want out a bit. Once it dries enough and tacks enough, you can do that, but not solidly dried. But and then you just put pressure all the way around. This one's, the lip is coming out. There we go. And there we go. You can probably see that it comes around a little bit more on there, but like I said, it doesn't have to be totally straight. Once this is really dry, you can go around with your scissors and do the edges like that around. I go from underneath and just go around like this. But I'd wait till it's totally dry and there's no more that adjusting that you want to do. And then do that. So here's your hat. I would suggest to keep your side to the side. You curl up your edges a bit. I took a dowel and I just went along the dowel, curled up my edges a bit. You can do this in any color cardstock if you don't wish to paint it. I was just doing it with the cream because these are, I don't know exactly what I want to do. Paint it, you can cover it, treat it like a journal page, you know, you could totally cover it. And yeah, so now you have your top hat. So I hope that was okay for a tutorial on how to make your pattern. Yeah, thanks guys for watching, and keep an eye out for all the challenges because the challenges are going to be adding things to this. So yeah, you can just make more hats, practice, or make your hat, totally decorate it for the first day, and then the next day make another hat and totally do what I ask you on the challenge, was adding something. So yeah. Okay, I hope you like it. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.